Hey, 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 everybody. How y'all doing
Hello,
tonight?
my name is Markiplier.
Hello,
Mine is not.
everybody. My name's Argenti.
Hello, everybody. My name is None. Welcome.
Hello,
Yeah, I'm not
Markiplier.
doing
My
a
name
bit.
is everybody. And today, we get to return to the thrilling world of Arhactorum as the party gets prepared to continue off after their day of rest and make their way back to the city. It
Yep.
is
We have
the
our
11th.
various items for Glean in tow. We have a little bit of information about the gang that beat the shit out of that kobold that Rat has sworn vengeance against. And we have some rather interesting crafting materials that we might try and do some stuff with.
It is the 11th of Red Bear, and with the current location that you are going to be traveling through for most of the time, the weather is da, 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 warm with a bit of heavy clouds. There's a bit of rain as you go through, but nothing torrential. There's a general humidity and heat to the air as you travel. Good bit of wind as well. Nothing
Alright,
exotic though.
Chad, if you could subtract rations, Albatross, if you could make the exploration roll, and Golden, if you could do the 3 threat rolls, please. Alright, and in order, let's see here. Ara, what is your Bastion action this round?
I'm gonna keep learning until I get my charisma increase.
Alright, Golden?
Guard.
Hmm?
Guard.
Okay. If you could roll the perception for that, Chad?
We're near the city. I'm just gonna study.
Okay. And Albatross?
We're learning it, I.
Alright. For my
Holy
part...
shit.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hmm.
For my part, I'm going to Ritual Floating Disc. I swear to God, I've cast that spell more than anybody else, ever.
Ever. No, I agree.
In history.
Probably true.
And if you can prove
Right.
him wrong, no, you can't.
Reminder in the future, friends, that actually, I guess since I do tell you that's fun,
What?
that normally I'd want that to be a DM roll, but actually, I think for that one
Oh.
specifically, it's fun.
Mhm.
Since there's no secrecy between the
Private or
results.
blind?
Hmm.
Private or blind?
I was gonna say blind, but you can actually just leave it as is because it's
I
what
meant in the
happens when I tell it.
Are we? I guess we're doing our learning rules now.
Yep, which
Yeah.
means that you get to add all of your fancy.
Cool. So, how many Bastion turns did we have last session?
2, I believe?
So this is the
2, I think.
third roll, or
Yes, I think so.
so it's actually 15d6.
I believe so.
Hey, I'll take it.
+1 tool
Yeah,
proficiency.
it is 2 more. Yes.
Are
That's
you able to
so
see that
exciting.
number?
I am.
Okay.
I don't know why that did that though. I'm finally charisma increased. I'm so happy.
The Rizzler.
Yeah, I was at 253. I just rolled a 54, which means I have 7 points extra to put towards something.
So that means that you got 20 charisma now, right?
No, just 19. But there aren't that many
Ah.
good charisma half feats, so this is still great for me.
Well, maybe you could pick up a nice charisma half feat from the new PHB.
Oh my gosh, let me see. I forgot that that was a thing. I never thought this day would
Alright.
come.
Yeah.
300 is a
God's
long
strongest 5.5
time.
hater. Yeah. God's strongest 5.5 hater.
I know. You know, in hindsight, playing a neutral evil character, it makes sense that he's not incredibly well liked.
Alright. JC, can you unpause so that we can make our way downtown?
I can.
Thank you.
Take one
Alright,
day
Alphas,
of
if you'd like to lead
movement.
us to glory. Altros?
I need you to repeat that one more time. I'm so sorry.
I was saying lead us to glory. JC said take a day of movement.
Fantastic. 2, 3, we're in the woods.
Make 1 point of movement. On this 22nd day, or 12th day, excuse me.
12th day.
While you are traveling along and you get to this intersection, it's clear that there's been a lot more caravan travel along this location than normal, and there's quite a lot of starting to be deep set grooves in the ground as a lot of the wheels travel through. And as you are traveling along, you eventually find an area where there's been a bit of stuff tossed off to the side. A few chunks of a specific hardwood have apparently rolled off one of the logging carts. You gain 20 rations, 2 instances of 5 encumbrance hardwood, and a third of a loot check. Or, sorry, 3/10 of a loot check, excuse me.
How close are we to a loot check?
I don't know.
Let me check.
Have we got how many
that
fractions?
puts us
That
exactly at
one.
That
one.
puts us exactly at 1. Wow!
And then
fancy.
what were the other two things?
2 instances of a 5 encumbrance hardwood log as a crafting material. And
Third
20
I
rations.
guess that's probably scale and nectar.
That's a lot of wood.
It's only 10 pounds of wood.
It's like 2 big logs.
And then what was how many rations?
20.
1 feet. Can I roll the loot check?
Go for it.
I'm feeling lucky.
No.
Ooh. May the spirit of gambling protect you.
It's all or nothing.
Illuminatore.
It's all or nothing.
Take the Atlantic Ceiling
It's
Blessing.
nothing.
Well, it was nothing!
That's-
Whoa!
That was two. That's 2 loot checks in a row that we got that shit.
I didn't know that was
Fancy.
possible.
Well, I was right when I said it was all or nothing.
It was all or nothing. Hold on, let me...
Nothing or nothing.
Let's see, rollable tables.
Oh, also, JC, the stream is fucked.
Mhm.
Fern just informed us.
There we go.
Fern,
Me
aw.
and I.
Hi, Fern.
Hi, Fern.
Hi, Fern.
Hello, Fern.
I want y'all to know that's a 17% chance twice. So,
Can I roll
guys,
next time?
You got it. We'll get that 3 times.
Hey, no. I pray to God, and
Lost?
He will protect me from this result.
You just prayed to God,
Ye-
and it didn't protect them.
Yeah, but I wasn't the one
You're
doing it.
Pick a new one next
the
time.
God who will kill you just to do a little bit of trolling.
Yeah, but she trolled you instead, so.
No, that was Bashaba who trolled me. Anyway,
Continue onwards. You have 2 more movements today.
1 and 2.
It is the
And
13th.
the 13th.
You continue
1,
traveling
2.
along as you go through a lot of the farmland. You're able to see just how much more is starting to spring up around the city. Previously, most of the population was really focused in the city and its immediate surroundings. But in the past year since you've been here, you're able to really start to observe just how much more people are starting to expand out into this river valley of the area that's here, as there's a lot more small one-off homes and stretches of farmland springing up. As you continue and make your way to the city at the very end of the 14th today?
That would be the end of the 13th.
13th.
Do we have anything to sell? We have some medium value stuff to sell.
I'm happy to help if you are trying to sell something.
And I would be the one helping you.
Oh, well, you know what I mean.
Why not, honestly?
Seeing
Since
as
we're in
y'all
the city, would
just got
refining
here, you can probably strike out tomorrow and start working on selling.
Nice.
I was also going to ask, would we be able to refine material without it requiring a start of Bastion turn action?
No, because it is the crafting action as
Okay.
a standard part. It is a long process that goes into more than just, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah. What was Rat's action study? Okay. I'd be willing to say that if you wanted to, like, take off the last dice, which in this case was a 4, you could probably get, like, the second half of the Bastion being a crafting action. Since a standard crafting action is, you know, 2 crafts.
Sure.
Okay. So just reduce your, like, learning by 4.
You got it, boss.
So wait, does that mean that an entire Bastion turn is 2 ingots of the Starfall?
Yes.
No. It's a different amount of encumbrance. Because we definitely
No.
got more.
Oh, yeah,
We had hundreds of encumbrance of it, now we have 40.
Right.
Oh, I think each
Oh,
one's a
never mind.
block of 2, so I think it's 4 per Bastion turn.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 40 per Bastion turn, because even though it's 2 crafting, each one is 20 to 2.
Okay.
Okay.
But either way,
In which case...
it is the 14th. The party has just made it back in town, and they finally have a bit of an opportunity to rest up and actually go about, find a good inn to stay at, get reacclimated with many of the pleasantries and amenities of standard society.
Always a pleasure.
It's nice not having been out for like 2 years.
Hopefully by the time we make another excursion of that extent, we have a means of faster travel.
I've been thinking of something about that, but it hasn't really come to fruition yet.
I have as well, but when recovering old formulae from my work before the spell plague, I've had more pressing matters at hand. Such as, for instance, the ability to interrogate the dead.
Oh. Can you do that now? Have I seen you do that? I don't recall.
I believe you were... Oh, you as a player were not there when I used Speak with Dead.
Yeah, I
Were you?
know that. I'm thinking you might have
No,
done
it
it on
was-
the corpse that we found at the end of the trail that was getting
Yeah.
towards the
Yes.
danger zone.
It was
Yeah.
tougher that it's not there.
Okay.
Very practical, though. Very nice. I've heard the phrase "the dead men tell no tales," but it's not always true, apparently.
It seldom is.
I feel like the dead tell a lot of tales. That's like my whole job.
I'm sure whoever wrote that didn't know either of you.
Me too.
Or I have to...
Man, we should really get the Earth Veil on someone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what it does.
Boy, do
No,
we
it's
have
not.
some
Mobile storage.
Mm-hmm.
Friend has
thought
repeatedly
Friend had
turned down
equipped it.
using it.
Yeah.
If nobody wants it, I'll take it.
Didn't Golden accept it the last time?
Said I thought it would be good for Tefra because it shows
Yeah.
visions of like the weather or like the land or something. I forget
Mhm.
And
exactly
it
what it
provides
did.
advantage on checks related to navigation and terrain.
Yeah, I could hold on to it for right now.
Well, you would attune to it, so it's not.
That's
like
what I
able
meant.
to-
So
Basically,
that's because
in-
I don't.
Basically,
Mhm.
in like those weather events where like you might have to get slowed down, or like if there's a chance for carts to get stuck during a heavy rain, or if it's a rainy day and you're in like a swamp, stuff like that, there's chances that you like lose a lot of movement, and that
Mhm.
helps with that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
helping us not.
Actually,
get-
it says it counts as medium armor.
Oh,
Damn.
That's a no,
only
then.
the only three characters in the party who can equip it are friend Rat and Kyle.
Too big for rat.
I just didn't want to be the first player to get 2 magical items that are like kind of for me and just be like, these are mine now.
no,
I
you're
mean,
good.
they're-
Take it, man. It's for you.
They fit you so well. Please
Yeah,
take
that
it.
is that is like you as a that's totally fine.
I understand wanting to be
literally-
nice, but no, it's the vibe is
Geomancer's
correct.
residence.
Right.
Yeah. Like, if friend even wears a hood.
Yeah.
Or wore a hood.
I will take it back, even though I haven't had
Okay.
it for a while.
You can
Yeah,
drag it
cast-
from group mobile storage into your inventory.
Thank you for the consideration, but like
Yeah.
it goes so hard for a friend.
hmm
As the party, having returned to home, actually goes through and starts looking through some of their goods, they are reminded of the Earth Veil, and I'd like y'all to probably go through the process of having what you just discussed happen in, in character, if that is something that interests you.
I know this item is a relic of Mirandor, but so is the High Peak Great Staff. Why is nobody using it at the moment?
It's too heavy.
Just don't really see the advantage in covering all of this. And I will kind of gesture over my face.
That too.
And Rat, I assume that what Tefrid said holds true for you.
Big.
You know, it really does just fit friend, like almost to a T.
Well, especially since the development of his magics. Friend, do you have any reservations about carrying this relic?
He shakes his head.
Alright, that works for me.
As he goes through the process of handing it to you, once it gets a little closer, some of your bits of geomantic vision that you've picked up from having been struck by the storm and awakening some of your sight, you can see that the energy that still remains within the veil is twisted and knotted and rather weak, much like it is tumbled like the gnarl on a tree, as opposed to the way most of the nature that you're able to see through your vision is.
Okay.
It's entirely possible that through a bit of effort, probably out of your skill at this time, but you might be able to work the magics into a more usable and proper state in the future.
He will be avoiding wearing it in combat because he doesn't want to damage it further.
Makes sense.
I know in game that probably wouldn't happen, but
Right. It's
he
good
likes to be
lore.
careful with things.
It's good lore.
This actually brings to mind something that has been intriguing me for some time.
Hmm.
The existence of the Earth Veil and the Great Staff seem to imply that Mirandor had some particular affinity for primal magics. And today, Adradon, son of Tradan, is the head of the Naturalists, and by all accounts, a rather powerful archdruid. I wonder if the magics he wields are of some relation to Mirandori primal magics.
It stands to reason. Do you think that will help us learn more about it? That if we search for places associated with such primal magics, we'll find more of Mirandor?
I certainly hope so.
Whatever traces they left
Yeah.
behind could be resonating throughout the ages.
It has been so far.
Is one of the best ideas you've had, Kyle. And maybe, just maybe, those will also help us find other necropoli, considering that we found the Great Staff and the Earth Veil at the site of one.
That's true.
For my part, in the morning I intend to take a visit to Glean to hand in our bounty. Tefford, would you like to join me?
Of course.
And Rat, since you were the one to request the information about the malfeasance.
He nods.
Hio, what do you
Yes.
perform over the course of this rather humid day? There's a gentle spring of water early in the morning, but it gives way after a bit. It's rather humid and warm.
I have a very pointed interest, one that I'm not sure I'll be able to achieve, but my god, I'll be putting all of my effort into it. I am tired of walking on foot all the time, and I'm hoping to find someone that can teach me a spell that will make that no longer an issue.
Hmm.
So, what I would like to do is try to find somebody that knows either the Find Steed or Phantom Steed spell.
It sounds like
I know one of those.
Hmm?
I said I know one of those.
What? Huh?
I know Phantom Steed.
You never cast it, as far as I can see.
I cast it once.
What the heck? Well, anyway, yes. I would like to try to find someone that knows Find or Phantom Steed, and if not, I guess I'll just bug Hiraway.
I hope it takes you all day to not find someone just to complain about the hero.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going to happen, and
That
I'd
would
love
be
to
so
roleplay it.
funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's the dramatic irony of it all. So yes, Kaio comes to the city exhausted. He wears this heavy armor, right? He's pretty strong, but it's heavy. Thinks there has got to be a better way to do this. Someone here must know.
I would assume, given it's where he's gone for many of his previous solutions, and it's beginning to help match nicely with each of the members of the party kind of associating with one guild, probably going to the Family of Unity to start trying to learn that. I mean, it would make sense. They're paladins and clerics. Surely they understand how, like, Find Steed and spirits work, right?
That is exactly what I had in mind. There must be some paladin or do-gooder or whatever on a noble steed that would be willing to help a young religious person to embrace
Do you
not having
mind-
to walk every day.
Would you mind making me
Is
a
there
religion
white
and
knight
investigation check for me?
An investigation check
And a religion.
and a religion. Can I guide myself for these or no?
Yeah. Might as well.
Thank you,
Okay.
Albatross.
Let me
I'm so
see.
glad I'm not the only one thinking of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason I sang that one line.
No. Okay, not great.
Not ideal.
Oh, there we go.
Not. Alright. Not bad.
Intelligence? No. Religion? Well, I was raised in a cult.
I was raised in a cult, you know. Like, imagine just Kaio needing to hit on someone. It's like, you know, I was raised in a cult.
That could work on someone.
He probably would. That's the worst part.
I'm
know,
very
I'm
committed.
pretty
I was raised in a
susceptible to that.
cult.
You know, I'm
You're
pretty
raised in a cult. I'm
susceptible to
starting a
that,
cult.
Sam.
I would be able to help you.
You know,
Trust me,
I'm
I know.
pretty,
Absolutely start a cult.
susceptible to some bad decisions if you wanted to take advantage of me.
Oh no!
If you can inspire me, I will literally kill people for you. But you've got to be very convincing.
You
Not
gotta
that
be really good
convincing,
about it. Yeah.
but kind of convincing.
As Kaya goes through, he continually is nagged by the feeling of, like, there's got to be somebody here who knows this. Like, this is exactly what they're supposed to do. Like, this is what's there. And despite his best attempts, he does not find anyone. And just continually grows frustrated because he absolutely knows this is where they should be and he's just not finding them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's here, I'm just not finding it. And you know
Mhm.
it's there. And the day comes and the day goes.
Oh, he's so irritated by the end of the day. Because had to walk the whole day! And this is what he was trying to avoid. Ugh.
This is why we love Kaio.
Tell me,
Yeah, no, he's-
Tedford.
Hmm.
Tell me, Hero.
Yes.
You had your way over
And
to
Rat.
Glean.
And rat, yeah.
Oh, all three of you?
Yep.
Okay. The three of you head over to Glean. And a quick knock, a quick introduction. The whole family's there now, including the missus. And a little bit of introductions, a little bit of welcoming. Eventually you get settled down, you get offered a meal at the table, and the talk eventually turns to business. So, I can trust that you've had a pretty good job then.
In some senses, yes. In some, no.
He just kind of gestures with his hand. Continue.
First, the good news. We found the creatures that you wanted hunted.
Oh, superb.
Everything
And
won.
second,
I just was affirming your statement, sorry.
we found the person that you gave Rat the means to track.
And what of them? Good news, I hope?
And now we have the bad news. He was
Hmm.
dead not just over a week before we got there. And he had a bomb implanted in his neck. Obviously killed by his compatriots.
Quite the shame.
They knew we were coming.
This is the fate of things sometimes. I can assure you it wasn't anything to do with me, if that's your worry.
No, I would imagine not, considering that they had left long before.
So you mentioned you had the goods?
Yes.
Ah, fantastic, fantastic, excellent. He excuses himself for a moment, goes, gets a small jar filled with some strange liquid, and asks for the blink dog eyes to be put in it, since those are the ones that are most perishable.
Plop, plop.
They fizzle for a brief moment before he seals it up tightly, and with a gentle wisp of his hand, the remaining air at the top of the jar disappears as the liquid inside fills up, and he goes and places it on a shelf with many other preserved organic parts. seeing as you all have been rather good for business so far, is there anything that magnificent old me can do to further encourage these deals, or at this point are you not looking to pay anything forward? Again,
Right.
anything simple and easy. Free as always. Simple information deserves to be free. But I'd prefer it if I could ask for a few goods before you get the information from here on out, if that's not unreasonable.
Seems reasonable enough.
Excellent. How long do you plan to be in the city?
At least half a month.
Oh, excellent. If that's the case, just stop by before you leave and I'll be sure to have something interesting by that time.
And Rat was gonna say something?
Yeah, Rat would look up to Hero and say, "Need no more."
Right. On the topic of prepaying, I have an inquiry that should not require such grisly payment. We were informed by the deceased that he and his were on the way to JC, I don't remember the name of the place myself, but Heroi Wood, considering it's also a city in the kingdoms.
Right.
Now, I know that city. To get there from so far from the west of Bartiza would be suicide for all but the best prepared, likely with some of the strongest magic that still exists, or an unconscionable amount of supplies. And judging by the size of the camp, they did not have an unconscionable number of supplies. Are they, in truth, headed to that city, or was he being deceived?
That does sound like the kind of thing that's a little bit more than basic knowledge. I can give you my personal advice in theorizing, if you want that.
Well, when it comes to theories, we have plenty of those.
Then I won't cloud your head with any more. And he raises his glass with a bit of a cheers.
I don't think it's so much a matter of that. I think we're in agreement. They knew we were coming, so him being the one who was tracked, he was fed false information so that he would give us false information.
You said it was trapped in some way. Could you describe that to me?
Yes, within his spinal cord was an explosive device of some sort that drained the mana from the surroundings, and in fact drained mana from living beings such as myself and Kaio, who you've met before.
Ah, the charming one.
Mm-hmm.
Did any of you manage to get a look at this location that the bomb was planted at before it detonated?
Only just beforehand, I had hoped to extract it with a mage hand to see what it actually was, and then detonated.
Did it seem like it was particularly violently placed, or did it seem precise?
Surgically precise.
If that's the case, then all of those seem to point that it was not some tool or some hapdash placement of a previously made artifact, but a single instance of a spell being used in a precise way. And if they have access to a spell like that, it would beg to reason that they
Legitimacy,
probably
perhaps?
could have teleported. So the question is, why wouldn't they? And he just taps side of his temple. You know, the whole think.
To waste our time to drag us out there so that they could then teleport away from there
It's
and
possible.
then conduct their business elsewhere.
But if they knew you were being followed, why not just get rid of him sooner? Teleport somewhere else.
The wildlife in the area was rather dangerous. Maybe they were hoping to get rid of us in the process.
Mm.
They
His
were
spine
able
was
to
bone
teleport
big.
long distances. Why didn't they just take care of us themselves?
Not
Too much
unreasonable.
attention taking care of us in the city.
You said something, young Knack?
His spine was big bone.
Knack.
I like to think that none of the three of them elaborate.
Yeah, that sounds pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I feel like we're just gonna
They all just sit looking.
Things are to die, they have to die somewhere. Please just welcome yourself to any of the food. There's a good selection of different meals. They're hearty. It's like different sorts of mashed vegetables and a bit of different fried meat. It's nothing particularly fancy, but it's hearty and it's filling.
Many thanks for the hospitality,
Of course, fresh caught. Only the best for business.
as always. Of course.
After the meal, he moves over. He showcases a bit of his collection of simple books. None of them particularly seem to stand out for any particular merit, such as being any historical accounts for Tefrid or anything seeming to be of actual substance for Hero A, and none of it's in Draconic, so Rat couldn't even read it if he wanted to. So most of it's seen as either dribble or, simple fiction.
Curiosities.
But he offers you to spend a bit of time, read some, rest up, but at the end of the day, your time in the city is limited and you can choose to stay or travel elsewhere.
Many thanks. I believe we will have to be taking our leave before too long, but again, I greatly appreciate the hospitality and the effort in corroborating our ideas.
As he flips from one page to the other and pushes up his glasses a bit and turns to face you. Likewise, in the most sincere of regards. I hope the rest of your time before you see me again is filled with peace and no trouble.
Thank you. I hope so too.
And the party makes
I don't-
way.
I don't suppose that's a prognostication of yours.
He gives a simple chuckle. Full stop.
Yeah. Well, Rat, since meeting with him was less fruitful than I had hoped, I have one more avenue that I can take to find information. It will have to wait until tomorrow, though. Yes, I apologize for the delay, but it's the second most reliable source of information I have.
Ask Ann again later.
What's the most?
Think time. Figure
Wait.
time.
I'm sorry, what did Rat say?
I don't remember.
Need time, need figure time. Ask again
Yeah.
later.
Glean's ostentations can sometimes be more trouble than they're worth, I've found, but his information is wholly reliable so far.
Yeah.
But where next now?
Not
Well,
sure. Is your
It's a
name?
lot of.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, you go ahead first.
Yeah. Is Rat like a nickname?
Rat his name.
Rat his name? Is Knack Draconic for Rat?
He just kind of stares at you.
Should I not pry?
No say.
Okay.
It is.
Oh, thank you.
He just glares.
Anyway, to answer the question about my second most reliable source, I intend to head to the Naturalists. I asked Atrodon earlier to watch over our friend, and it's my hope that his talents have come into their own, at least to a small degree. We need feet on the ground. He commands many such creatures. Any objections?
No, not at all. Maybe we should grab Friend before we go to natural stuff.
Very likely, yes. Speaking of, what's Friend doing right now?
Probably chilling outside the city.
Takes a bit of time for them to search and find him. It's a bit into the afternoon, probably about 2 hours after the peak of sun in the sky.
There you are, Friend.
Do you want to head out to... We're going to see the Naturalist pretty soon. You want to join us?
Hold on, can you hear me?
Oh, we... No, that was just dead silence for me, at least. I don't know if that was just me.
Can hear
Yeah,
you.
I
okay.
couldn't hear you either before.
Okay.
But we
Oh,
can
he
hear
would've
you
said-
now.
He would have said something wrong.
Oh, no, nothing's wrong.
Did you finish with business?
Well, with one stop, yeah. We want to stop by the Naturalist and want to see if you want to swing by with us.
Of course.
Alright, I think we're heading to the Naturalist now.
Alright.
Superb. Give me just a moment. There y'all go. You make your way over, you see that there's a good selection of people here. Neither of the two more significant leaders are here. One being, Atrodon, the other being Izar, who is sort of second in command. There's not too many people here, but there's a good bit of a buzz. What sort of actions does the party get up to?
For my part, I would like to start inquiring as to if anyone has seen a certain small goblin today.
As you ask around, you learn that eventually one person might have. Would you mind rolling your choice of persuasion or investigation?
I'll roll persuasion. Let me see here. Okay.
Eventually end up coming apart on one of the people who ends up being a fair bit more sociable, and then you strike up a bit of a conversation. Eventually you manage to redirect the conversation a bit. You learn that apparently a lot of the people from a few of the different guilds in the city are missing right now, as they are out meeting a Delmarv envoy that's come to the city for a bit of help for reasons that haven't quite been made public. A lot of the newer recruits have gone along with them just as a bit of an example to go show and talk with them.
A representative strictly of the Empire. I wonder, are Imperial interests being threatened? Thank you
There's
for the
rumors that
information.
they've been called rather than coming on their own, but hopefully we'll get an answer.
As I myself am an aspirant of the developmentalists, where would I go to catch at least some of this meeting?
Considering they kind of look up into the sky for a bit, you'd be able to catch the tail end. It's kind of in the central plaza, one of the bars.
Thank you. Rory's going to reunite with the other three and basically give that same kind of information. This is a rather unique opportunity, considering that the Delmarevs are the rare visitor here who is explicitly tied to either the kingdoms or the Empire. Specifically the Empire in this case. I'm rather interested to see what Imperial interests they're representing.
Valor
Anyone else want to see?
Demerlev? What? What is?
I don't think Rat would
I'm
have an
surprised you
issue
don't
pronouncing it, because at
Yeah.
least the word is Draconic.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Delmirevs?
I was gonna say.
What?
A clan of Dragonborn, Viemneri, who are firmly allied with the Empire.
Tilts his head.
Why?
Do you want the short version or the long version?
Not talk muchy.
Hmm?
Not talk much.
Right.
Not want, here, listen.
Okay. Then I'll leave it as they are.
So go see talk, see listen.
To a degree. I'm hoping that Adradon and our little friend might be there.
You travel to the aforementioned place. and upon getting there, you make your way inside. None of the guild leaders are present anymore, but a lot of the followers and newer initiates of many of the different guilds and/or houses have been left to socialize between each other for a good little bit. One of them, among them, is the Rat King, and there are two younger Delmarev in one of the corner that are sort of socializing and talking with them as well. It seems a reasonable conclusion that most of the important conversations had been struck up, and now it's more about amicability.
How common are Dragonborn in the city? Because I know we see fair few lizard folk. Are they as
Regular
uncommon?
Dragonborn are pretty common. Like, not
Okay.
super duper common, probably like roughly like a 3 or 4% of the population sort of situation.
Okay.
But like, blue Dragonborn are still pretty distinctly a Delmarev type trait, and not very common.
I didn't know if it was like a Savage Kingdoms type thing where Dragonborn largely were not very common at all.
Plus, it's entirely possible that some of the like green-looking Dragonborn would be very passable as lizardmen, as you know. Except for
Paint
you.
Lord
For
Green.
you, it probably wouldn't be. For everybody else, they wouldn't be
Yeah.
able to know, but you can tell the difference.
Alright.
That's twice we had to be like, wait a second, rat's draconic, shit.
Yeah.
He can't be racist about that. Oh no.
Rat kind of tilts his head and points at the Delmarevs as he pushes on Hirway's leg,
Same color.
and then he gestures towards himself.
It hadn't ever occurred to me before, but yes.
Not see normal, what? Forceborn not.
Suffice to
rat
say,
color.
they are a long-standing clan who prides themselves on their blue scales and their lightning breath. And divine
Strange.
magics.
Only stay blue, Delmarev?
I don't know if Hirway would know.
Well,
Hmm.
is that to me or to him?
No, Rat is asking.
to you.
Rat is asking Hirway if only Delmarevs are blue.
Can
Because
I roll, like,
he has not
history
seen
with
any of them.
disadvantage?
Sure, go for it.
Okay. Hirway starts to open his mouth to answer, then tilts his head a bit. I truthfully don't know.
Not see before least.
He spends a lot of his time in the bar looking at the Delmarevs.
Perhaps
If you'd
to
like, I
both
intend to make
a
introductions.
perhaps to both a mix of excitement and perhaps disappointment given Rat's elitism. They seem to be doing a very good job at socializing with many of the other people there and telling a few stories and listening to them and generally being good at carousing and rallying around. Makes it pretty easy to choose to interject yourself and listen to a few of the stories at some point, or to just continue to observe.
He'd probably be making his way slowly closer throughout the time in the bar, eventually reaching the point where he's listening to stories, but that will be later.
Would you mind rolling a perception check or an insight?
You got it. Rat has no wisdom, so this is gonna be so trash, and I'm so ready. Perception or insight? Let's go with insight. 'Cause that's what Rat thinks he can do. But he in fact cannot.
Oof.
Eventually, as you make your way over, you hear a few of the stories. Like, currently, it's going through a bit of groups that this pack has gone through to handle a few beasts that pushed over the Tally Mountains. And a few other questions get asked about more exotic things, but the two of them that are here explain that they're currently just some of the like newer ones to have graduated through the program and actually are it's not like their first mission or anything, but they don't have too many more left to tell. If you wanted more, you'd have to talk to the Senshire to figure that out. Stuff like that. It gives you a bit of information before you have to start asking questions, but seeing as a lot of people are asking questions away, like the aforementioned how long they've been doing it, or what does it mean to have different groups, and how is
Yeah.
it that they decided to end up being censors, stuff like that.
Yeah, Rat is certainly not speaking up right now.
Okay.
But he has noted that they are censors.
Whatever that means, after all.
Whatever that means, after all.
I mean, they were describing different groupings and
Yeah.
whatnot, so.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, okay.
He knows that they're here to either explore or attempt to find something.
Hiroi is going to try and make an introduction to these youngsters.
And do so.
Right. I'm getting wording together.
Nope. Alright, totally fine.
Back in my day, I was.
You know, my spirit's something of a Delmer of itself.
I fucked a Delmarep once.
Greetings. I assume you're here with the Delmarov delegation?
An astute and wise choice. One of them stands up, leans over with an outstretched hand. It's rough and hewn. It's not scarred, but it is shown that there's been a lot of experience with it.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm an emissary of the Nakoku Legion. Hiroi.
Ah, wonderful. Glad we don't have to be on the opposite side of things anymore. Okay,
Indeed.
sit down. Would you care to either get or allow me to get you a drink?
I would hate to owe any debts, so what say you we get each other a drink?
A surprise it is. They whisper to one of the other members, probably like one of the artists who's been particularly fond of writing down a lot of the stories, and they go out and end up getting you a drink. It's sweet and bitter, and it's very green. What sort of drink do you choose to get them?
Hero is likely going to get them some kind of dry wine. Oh, actually, you know what? I could always go for the old callback and get some Cerulean Topaz.
I was gonna say.
I would love some cerulean. Why did both of you say cerulean?
I said
nobody said-
Cerulean.
I
Okay.
didn't say anything. I just said I was
No,
gonna
no,
say.
my sister.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
The callback.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably some.
Yeah.
It's a lot more expensive than you would have expected because it's traveled as far as Kaio has.
Yeah.
You end up looking through, you end up seeing on the back of the label of the wine, it goes through like giving its little sales pitch about why it's the best, and one of the things you end up actually, I don't know if you'd be able to notice and draw attention to that because Kaio hasn't opened up too much, but if he has, and this is some
We've been traveling together for a year and a couple of months.
right, but
I feel like
have you said where you're actually from?
Yeah, he said he's
did
from
one
as far east as
time.
he can. Oh, actually, yeah, I think you mentioned the name.
Okay, he did mention the name
after
at
that
some
near-death
point?
experience.
Yeah, no. For the longest time, I had been saying, "Oh, I'm from the east." As far east as you
go
can
without getting
get.
lost.
Yeah, exactly. As far east as you can get without getting lost, which I thought was a little clever way of introducing that.
Mhm.
But after one of my surprisingly many near-death experiences, I did say the name
Okay.
because I wanted to share that about myself.
One of
Whether
the-
somebody looked up what that means is up to them.
One of the things that is of particular note as you're reading the back of it, deciding on if it's a good one, it of course describes like most wines do about how it's the specific kind of vintage and how the like blue or like the various different blue fruits are processed, and it talks about how it's made it all this way through tariffs and monsters and Edamare pirates and the such. And that part
You're right,
strikes
we'll
you
remember
as particularly interesting note.
Well, he already knows that Kaio worships Umberly, so that's not really any surprise.
Mm-hmm. And you get a glass. You provide it out. Good socializations ensue. There's more conversation being had between them and a few of the others, and eventually there's probably enough time for another question or two, but any more than that would probably start to strain the social expectation given the amount of people there.
Right. So, I apologize because I came in late, but what brings the August Delmarevs to our little city, if I may ask?
It's a bit of a private matter at this point. If you want, I'm sure
Understood.
the Censure could talk about it in a bit more detail than I can, but I can tell you that we're here for the safety of the city.
Understood.
Ever vigilant and all. Another one asks a question a bit about like how they tend to travel and if it's changed in the last couple years. They give a bit of their experiences about how all of their deployments have been, post plague, but they remember a few of the times when they were going through training being able to actually experience just instant teleportation between places and how surreal of a difference it was. The second one ends up talking a little bit about how he was out on a deployment on the like little training exercise at one of the farther cities when the spell plague happened, and he had to walk back, and that was not fun. Tefford, you can ask one, Rat can ask one if they want, and Hero can ask one if they want. Each of you have one question.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess you're here. That's fair.
No, it's okay. You can make him racist.
I just, in my brain, was like, yeah, there's no way Friend actually walks into the bar, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Up the front.
Exactly. It's up to Friend.
A friend walks into a bar.
He
Well,
notices it's made of wood and removes it and walks out.
Oh,
Friend strides into a bar. Friend giant growths into a bar. Friend
Bar
throws
cannot contain
Tefford
him.
into a bar.
Wouldn't throw Tefford.
Friend football
Lifts
throws
Tefford
Rat
over
into
a bar.
He would throw Rat.
This is good. Anyway. And if there's no questions to be asked, you simply enjoy and vibe with the experience before deciding to head back to the inn that you have chosen.
I am pondering right now.
You know what? Given the amount of time we've been through, this seems like a good point to go ahead and call our midline intermission break.
Indeed.
I am going to
Will
go
do.
gather water, and I encourage the rest of you to do the same. We'll be back in just a bit. Hey, everybody, welcome back.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Well, the Delmarevs
Alright,
are there.
so
It's your
Yep,
opportunity
we've
to
each
ask
got
a few
our-
questions.
our magic questions.
They regale a bit of a story of one of the times that their group ended up going up to fight a particularly interesting spout of undead from up north. Many of them were young and not graduated yet, but it was exciting nonetheless.
I wonder what that could be referring to.
I wonder what that could be referring to.
Yeah, I am.
Wondering question.
The wondering in question. The party should ask their questions.
How many years ago was that?
Let's see, given that I've been here 4 years and that was like second trip, that was probably like 8 or 9 years ago? Maybe a bit more?
Okay, so out of character, it's not the one that I'm thinking of.
Well. What makes
I then
you
did
say
like
that?
5 years before what he mentioned. I guess there could have still been undead left over from it. Maybe.
In the
Actually,
absence
hold
of
on.
anybody interrupting, they sort of go through and just a lot of interest seem to wane in them as they prepare to get up and leave and head back to rejoin the rest of the group. And they depart. And the party is left with only themselves, a few various different novices of the different guilds, including a particularly well-dressed Rat King, who is surprisingly not being very manic, and was actually relatively calm and attentive during that.
Oh, looks like you've done well for yourself.
He smiles at you. Yep. Thank you.
Happy to help.
He's got a big smile on his face.
Say, after this meeting is done, could I speak with you privately? I have some help I need to ask for.
He just sort of stands up and starts following.
No, after this. Enjoy your time here. Enjoy the festivities.
He smiles, goes back, sits down, and eats a bit more of some of the food. Is there somewhere you're staying right now?
Where would that be in relation to this bar?
It would be the inn to the southwest.
It's over in that direction.
Ah, same place. Yes. Okay. I will catch up.
Thank you.
I assume the party heads home?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wherever home is, presumably
up.
where the heart is.
Heads home, the party does. They make their way through the inn door, and as they do, they see a particularly despondent Kaio. Not quite lost in his drink, but he's very clearly focused on it as one of his hands is, or one of his hands supports his head, and the other one is just sort of staring into the glass.
Yeah, no, he looks exhausted. He looks annoyed. He looks genuine in a way that he rarely does.
Oh, what's got
Right,
you
well,
bummed,
right,
friend? I like your approach better.
As I didn't hear.
I think we both said that at the same time.
Here, wait, what did you say?
I said, are you all right, Kyle?
I
will
said,
look
what's
to
got you
you.
bummed, friend?
I'd imagine that if Tefford says that, friend just goes,
I was thinking the same thing.
I might
Kyle
have
will
said
look at
some,
you
I don't
When
remember.
you just look.
with an exasperated look and said, "You would not believe what a waste of time my day has been. But how are you? How's everything going?" And he puts on a very forced smile.
We encountered some people of a name that you might be familiar with. Dalmarevs.
Would I know them?
I mean, you definitely know of them.
Oh no. Ooh. They're like semi-local to me, right?
Semi-local.
They're from the Empire. You would probably be at least somewhat familiar with the Barca, considering that they were the ones involved with the naval
Yeah,
stuff.
they,
Well, that's what I mean is I know them as like, it's the cops! Scram!
yeah. The Barkadelmarev are in charge of keeping the sea lanes safe.
Yeah, you see? Actually, let me find out if you see.
Let me also find out if I see.
Fantastic.
I do not.
Never mind.
Yeah, I think that's good enough.
Oh! Surprised to see them this far out west. What are they doing here?
That's a very good question.
Hmm.
What we do know is that they were meeting with the leaders of the various factions within the city, and as a result, some young members of their order and some young members of each of the factions here were having a get-together. We arrived too late to actually meet with to actually see the leaders in their conversation, but our conversation with the younger ones was rather enlightening.
That actually does make sense. I spent most of my day over at the Family of Unity space, and there was quite a few fewer people than I was expecting. Might be why it was so difficult for me.
What was?
He kind of shakes his head and then waves his hand dismissively, takes a swig of his drink, and says, "We've been traveling a lot. And I'm just so tired of doing it on foot. I feel like there's got to be a better way. I've read of paladins on noble steeds riding gallantly into whatever." There's an air of frustration as he says this, waving his hands with, again, exasperation. Would you believe I couldn't find a single person that knew what I was talking about? Aren't they supposed to be the experts in... I know there are
You could have
arcane
just asked
spells.
me.
that- I'm sorry? He looks at you with
You-
shock.
You could have just asked me.
Why would you know a spell like that? Oh my god.
It's
You mean
not
to tell me-
uncommon for
I have spent all day talking to anyone who would listen, trying to find someone that knows a magic that you already had?
I apologize for the difficulty in that regard. Though I can't exactly say how useful the spell is going to be for you. It's a relatively ritualistic spell that only lasts for about an hour, so I haven't had time to benefit from it. But yes, I can conjure a phantasmal steed to carry me like the wind itself.
I mean, an hour's not a lot of time, but ritually, so not quite as exhaustive as some of our other efforts.
Right, but you understand why I haven't been able to, considering the disc.
No, your time is quite taken up, I'm sure. But if you've got some spare time, I might want to hear your thoughts on it.
Time is a resource like any other, and as it happens, I tend to have it in abundance while we're traveling, considering that most of the rest of my time is spent invoking the disc.
All right. I'm gonna give it another go tomorrow, and hopefully it'll be easier with that meeting adjourned. But I might take you up on that.
I wouldn't be so sure that the meeting is entirely adjourned. They may come back tomorrow. This may have just been a temporary break, especially in order to get the initiates tired out.
So what you're saying is I need to go there and bother people there, and then I'll get my answers.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where they would meet.
Uh,
But yes, I can't go too horribly wrong.
You would not believe how fruitless this was. It can't be any worse.
Fair enough.
Oh, but I guess we have business in the marketplace tomorrow as well, don't we?
Yes, and while we're out there, we may be able to learn a bit more.
Oh. It's always nice getting to flex that particular muscle.
Indeed.
He will take his drink, knock the rest of it back, slam it politely on the bar. Say, "You have just significantly raised my spirits. Guess today wasn't a total wash after all."
Not to be of help.
It is now the 15th. The party gets some
Yahoo!
good rest. At this point, I believe the remainder of the investigations should be either that Delmarva one, which I would be surprised. Who's going to investigate that?
Right. After the party hero is basically going to give the Rat King the lowdown on this gang of miscreants and ask him to keep his many ears out for any information he can find, and that he'll be paid on commission.
Okay. I find all the secrets. And he sort of waddles and scampers off. While many of his traits have been acclimated to civilized society, he still runs on all fours when he's excited. Who's investigating the Delmarva situation? Then I take it the party focuses on their bastion turns. What would the party like to sell?
I was gonna say I hadn't said anything because I wanted to let somebody else speak up. But if nobody else does, Hirway is going to express interest,
Okay.
especially since part of the whole thing was like keeping an ear out while we're selling.
Make
Yeah,
an
wrap.
investigation for me.
Sure.
I probably would
Hopefully.
as well. Just
Okay, what's your investigation mode?
anyway. My investigation is an 8, a +8.
Mine is a
plus
+4.
Okay. Chad, go and roll with. Is that 2? Then?
With advantage, yeah,
With it. Okay, let me check out.
because help action.
Ah,
Jesus Christ.
Shattered. You end up managing to catch a look very early in the morning as you each track down 2 of the different guild leaders as they leave their guilds heading out to an area north of the city. They're clearly trying to be very secretive about it, but Rat was able to hide in places that they clearly could not look by just barely being able to peek out of, you know, ankle and knee-high coverage.
perfect.
They know where they're going, but it's also very clear that they don't want to be followed. The choice is yours.
Rat will communicate what he has found to Hiroway, but leave the decision-making related to it to the group.
And Hero is going to relay that information to the group as well.
Hmm.
If
I
any
had-
of us are to... Oh, sorry.
No, there is something that I would like to do. It involves Tefrid, and if he's busy, then I will leave him alone.
I'm not busy.
You can finish. I'd like to let them finish this scene though, because it's totally unrelated.
Oh, totally. Yeah, no.
Okay.
This part, no. Just, we'll put it on the docket.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's
I
the
doubt
party's
that
opinion?
most of us could actually...
Sorry, go ahead.
I doubt that most of us could actually get close without raising everyone's hackles, but... Friend, you share some degree of kinship with Atrodon. You are also very new to this world, and thus could easily pass as being unfamiliar with this sort of custom. I would ask, if you are willing, that you try and meet with Atrodon and the others and learn what you can of their meeting. If that's alright with you.
He thinks it over for a few seconds. Without my presence known.
I'll leave that to your discretion. Of note, if you're not confident in your ability to hide, I think that hiding would raise their suspicion even further.
Very well.
I'll leave it to your judgment, though. Right, sorry about that. Kaio, Tefrid.
I'm sorry.
Nothing to be sorry for.
Oh, sure. Yes. The next morning, Kaio is going to wake up reasonably early so that he can kind of ready himself for the day. trying to make himself look more official. He's been cleaning his vestments that he wears somewhat regularly because he is planning on going back to the family of Unity and trying again. And whenever Teford wakes up, and if he takes too long, Kaya will wake him up.
Oh, Teford's probably up before you are.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, he will try to find you and say, Tefrid, could I ask you a favor? I feel like I don't do this very often, but I really would like your help with something.
Oh, sure, whatever you need.
Now, I mentioned yesterday that I was looking for something, and it did not go the way that I had hoped that it would.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've been there before. Sometimes I'll, when I was learning at my college, it was something else. I was looking for this one piece of information I thought I saw in a book for 3 months. I couldn't find the book again. Turns out someone else had just checked it out.
3 months is... I don't have 3 months.
Oh, no, I assume not. That's why you're asking for help.
Yes! Yeah! So, listen. I feel like, you help us in the wilds. He says this with, metaphysical air quotes. He's not doing it with his hands, but the way that he says it, you can hear the air quotes.
Yeah.
In the wilds, to find all kinds of... Could you help me try to find a person, or a set of persons, maybe?
Yeah, of course.
I'm really just trying to find anyone that knows a specific spell that allows you to conjure a steed.
Yeah, okay.
Better than Heroways thing that he can do. Sure, it's fine, but an hour is not enough time. We're out there for months.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you could help? Do you have time today?
Oh, absolutely.
Fantastic. Because I know the family of Unity has someone that can do it. I could... He's getting so frustrated, you can see a vein pulsing in his forehead. I could tell someone should know how to...
I feel like asking nicely will be a really good start.
Hmm?
I feel like asking nicely would be a really good start. Also, I can also check the libraries, just in case.
I would never do that. But that's an idea, sure, why not? We'll try.
Exactly.
Asking nicely or check a library?
All I was doing was just going up to strangers and saying, do you know how to do... This is not a bad tack.
Was that at the end of the end of the day or the start of the day yesterday?
The end of the day.
That makes more sense.
Very frustrated. At first I was just trying to plant the seeds, Wow, it sure is difficult for a young missionary out here in the wilds trying to spread the word of the Lord. Nobody understood what I was talking about.
No, I wouldn't either.
Sure wish I had a lovely horse that, had celestial rating. Don't have any idea.
And then someone tried to sell you a horse, yeah.
I
feel like a direct ask would be a great way to start.
Yeah, but
that's what made me not be able to find that book for 3 months. I could have just asked the librarian, but I was very stubborn.
But there's no finesse to that. It's so boring.
I think we're past the point of boredom. I think you might need some I'm just gonna hand you a cloth because you appear to be sweating.
Thank you.
Just right here.
Thank you. He dabs his forehead.
So supportive.
I will return the cloth to you. Well, perhaps we can try the more direct approach and see what happens.
Sounds good to me.
And I would like us to go to the family of Unity and see what we can do.
Yeah,
I would
absolutely.
like Tefrid to take the lead. I'll give him guidance and the help, hopefully. So he's...
Do you know the name of the spell you're looking for?
It is simply called Find Steed.
Find Steed.
It shouldn't be too difficult, but let me tell you, when I said, does anyone know Find Steed? They brought me to a stable.
No, that I would do that too. That would be my first instinct.
It's not the same. I could buy a horse, but it's not the same.
Why not?
Well, if a horse dies, it's much harder to replace. With this, I could just do it again.
Oh, I see. Okay. So this is pragmatism.
Absolutely. Think of the savings.
Oh, that's what we... Okay, never mind. Never mind.
But yes, we go to the family community and go bothering people again.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
imagine Tefford goes in, and after like 20 seconds of just saying hello to the people in front, he just raises his voice and just goes, you know.
Mhm. Does anyone here know the spell Find Seed?
And like 8 different people who are like in different corners of the air just turn to you and like raise their hand.
Fantastic. I have a friend who's looking for exactly that. Kaio! I got a bunch of people in here.
The Kaio is watching from like the near distance, sees how easily you did that, and if he had fuses to blow.
I'm just smiling and waving like, look, we did it!
The migraine that this man is experiencing right now from how easy that could have been for him when he spent 8 hours yesterday. It's fine. It's fine. So, great, Tefford. Thank you so much. I don't know why that was so hard for me.
I feel like if you just express what you want to people, they'll be able to help you easier. And I'm looking you right in the eyes, and I'm not blinking.
Well, let's test that theory out. Why don't we? Hello, 8 people that know this very fun spell. I would love to study your craft. Does any of you have time this week to maybe talk about that a little?
Absolutely. A bunch of them go through, they talk to you. Some of them, like a group of 3 of them, are kind of in a group that are explicitly here to try teaching people about things. And the other ones are like still very sociable about it, but don't have quite as much time. The cost is 100 learning points as long as you're in the city. When you do your learning action, you will gain an additional extra point per dice.
That's crazy. I had 7 points remaining, so I guess I'll put this towards that. But that I will tell you,
you can
when
still
Kaio
continue to learn it when you are not here. You just will not get the bonus.
Oh, that's fine. All I'm saying is just like roleplay wise. Kaio says, "That's a great suggestion. Let me try that." And he's being very sarcastic. Turns and says, "Will anyone like to help me?" And then they do. And he looks like someone pulled a rug out from under him because he was really expecting him to say, "Yeah, it'll be 500 gold." Like, "Oh yeah, of course." What do you mean, of course? You weren't supposed to say, "Of course." His worldview is being challenged today.
I mean, yeah, that is like the core tenet of the family of Unity is sharing information, sharing stories, sharing knowledge, stuff like that.
Tefford, thank you so much for this lesson.
There's a reason the library is maintained by both them and the artists.
Of course, I'm always willing to help, Kaio. All you have to do is ask. Can we internalize that one too, please? Please.
I'll do my best. How's that?
I appreciate the effort. We worry about you, man.
I have no idea why. Let's talk about finding steeds! He is rerouting immediately because he knows what you're asking about and he is not willing to unpack it right now. This has been a good day. He doesn't want to think about it.
Understood. We can understood. We'll talk shop at a later point.
Yeah.
Friend departs and ends up catching up with Adradon partway along his walk to the north. And I won't get too much into it now, but Friend learns that they're heading out to a place about a day and a half or so north of here. They're going to spend a few days there figuring a few things out, and that, yes, it is related to, him calling them in for help. And if he wants to, he is welcome to join and listen in.
He definitely accepts, knowing that he doesn't have to,
Okay. You don't necessarily have to leave immediately. It's going to start at the end of let's see, current day would be, it starts at the end of the 16th. So you can go and still communicate to the rest of the party before having to head up.
He's just happy he doesn't need to rat around.
This is good.
Hey.
But if he had to, he had a plan.
me disguising myself as a tree. It worked. It
Oh,
worked
even
for
better.
Mithril. It'll work for me.
Even better.
Disguise yourself as a normal person.
The plan was to go there ahead of time and bury himself in mold earth.
That's pretty based, actually. Me
Fully
doing the
based.
Minecraft strat when I need to
So I don't
survive
need to
the night.
breathe.
It's pretty good, actually. He gets back, he's able to communicate to the rest of the party. I believe at this point, all of the remaining actions for this day and the future 4 days should be done in the abstract action sense.
Yeah, like selling stuff, crafting.
Friend will be away after today, but tomorrow, Rat gets to make his first crafting roll.
Hefford, are you still wearing regular leather armor?
Yeah. Why?
We should do something about that.
Let me double check it to make sure I'm not lying to your face right now. No, this is studded.
Okay.
And I've got this
Okay,
sticker
so-
that has +1 AC on it. I'm trying to remember where I got that, but in my notes it says sticker with +1 AC on my armor.
That's because it's disguised as looking like something else.
That would do it. Right, okay, thank you. I should take better... Yeah. Alright. So I'm doing pretty alright right now.
Alright, alright. I was thinking, though, it might behoove us to... We have plenty of materials on hand, and I'm sure that between the 5 of us, we have access to the right facilities to potentially make you something a bit more useful than mundane armor.
It's not mundane either.
Weird emoji.
I appreciate your concern, and I do actually want to follow through on this. I think it's very good. I just want to make sure we're working with all the right information.
Right.
And in case someone else needs help before I do, I feel like they should get it.
Right. But the reason I wanted to bring this up is we will have to discuss with Rat, but creating light armor would be an easy way to use a small amount of the Starfall metal to see how its properties actually work on equipment rather than just in its own right. And while it was originally harvested for the sake of creating spell scrolls, I believe that the Bright Wolf hide that we procured earlier could see much better use as the foundation of an enchanted brigandine. We will still have to discuss with Rat, of course, but preliminarily, what do you think?
I love that plan. I think it's great. Thank you so much for your help on that, actually.
Well, I myself just recently acquired new armor. Friend seems resistant to the idea of any new armor. Kaio is still saving up for plate mail, and, well, I can't exactly claim to know the full extent of Rat's plans.
Is there that sounded like there was more of that statement?
No, it's just true.
Okay.
But this is a relatively low-risk way to determine the full extent of the metal's properties, and if we frame it like that, I see no reason for Rat to be opposed.
I agree.
We also had selling to do, right? On top of the crafting
Mm-hmm.
for making the
I
ingots.
think so.
Ara, would you be willing to do the selling rolls for the 2 mediums that we got?
Sure. Are you helping or no?
Actually, I'm probably not helping for the first one because I'm going to be helping Rat make ingots that
Okay.
day.
So, remind me again, if you're not helping, that changes the modifier how? Right now it's
You're not
1d20
getting my-
regular.
Hmm.
Right now it's 1d20, 1d4 for the guidance. I have a +3 modifier for my proficiency bonus, and a +4 for my charisma, which means it should be +3 for my proficiency, +4 for my charisma without your bonuses.
And plus a d4 for guidance because I can't provide that.
Nope, that's me. That's all me. So, let's see. What am I selling? Tell me. Who's got the stuff?
25 encumbrance of medium trade goods.
I get a 23.
Are we selling it?
What
for
do you
that?
think, fellas? Do we want to take it?
How many opportunities do we get per
I think it's
Per
3
day?
per.
or per bastion?
Yes.
We have 70, so wait, do we have 70? Hold on. That was the wrong. I'm so smart. Yeah, we have 70. So we can afford to do all. We can only afford to do all 3 on this bastion turn, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we're taking the 23.
Yeah, hold on. 2.5 times 1.15 is 2 gold, 8 silver, and 7 copper.
All right.
That brings us to 45.
Okay. So on to the next.
And this one you'll have me along because I'm not doing the crafting.
Oh, perfect.
Next day or next roll?
Isn't it 1 roll per day?
It's
No,
one
it
roll
should
per
be-
category per day. Are you selling
Yeah,
any other
so-
categories?
We don't have.
We don't have
more
any
of
other categories.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
Rat. That means that you guys get to do that in a moment. Rat.
Yeah.
It's time for you to start working on some of your smithing.
Indeedy. I believe we wanted to forge the things into ingots, right?
Yep.
Starfall.
A Starfall ingot requires 6 forge and 3 moth to convert 10 individual encumbrances of Starfall ore to create a single 5 encumbrance ingot. You get
And the
2.
spells require.
Hmm?
Sorry, go for it.
You get 2 forge from your current level of fort.
My me.
Actually, do you get 3 now?
I don't know what the breakpoint is for that.
Everybody starts with 2. I think you've got. I'll say you've gotten an extra point of forge by now. You're probably at 3 now.
So then I would be 2 edge since that's the default, or would I be 1 since it's?
Yeah, you're 3-2 now because you've done a bit of crafting and you've been playing into that side of things. The forges that you'd have access to publicly give you 1 forge, and you have 1 forge as a result of the weather being slightly but not very warm. So you are at 5 out of 6 forge, so you would need to add something that gives a bit of extra forge. And the 3 moth is normally satisfied by Hero A's spell.
The fleeting suppression.
Mm-hmm.
Would Sparkspite provide enough forge to cover it?
Oh yeah, he does have the. Well, I think
Sure.
that's the furnace slot.
Isn't that replacing the weather slot?
I wouldn't think
Or the
so.
environment
I
slot?
think that's like that. Like that's very specifically weather. Is that one? It does replace the environment slot, which would be the forge.
In which
Well,
case.
the forge was also 1 forge, so.
Right.
So we're short how many, just to
Just
clarify?
1 forge is all you need. You know that your oblation, your red potions,
We got 10 of the red potions. We might as well, right?
Probably.
BBQ?
Sure.
Okay. Then we'll use one of the red potions.
Go ahead and decrement it by 1, and over the course of the next 5 days, you produce 2 Starfall ingots for a total of 10 encumbrance, and reduce your available Starfall ingot or Starfall ore by 20.
Mm-hmm.
Describe how Rat goes about this process.
I don't actually know the process of turning ores into an ingot. Like, as a person.
I mean, most of it is heating it up to attempt to separate parts that are valuable from parts that are not, and then either taking off from the top or only keeping the top, and doing that a variety of times with different, like, other catalysts to potentially cause different things to rise. So, like, you might add dust, like specific kinds of dust or charcoal, not charcoal, ash to a specific sludge, so that that ash binds with only one type of thing, so that it rises to the top, for example, so that you can get rid of it if it otherwise might not. That's the standard process of attempting to process and purify a metal, is by using the fact that they have different densities and abusing that with different catalysts.
Okay. It's probably just that kind of process, him using the spell from here away to kind of stabilize, or destabilize, I should say, the ore to let it actually be heatable, I imagine.
Right. You need to introduce variants to it so that it can actually adapt.
Okay. So then it's 2 Starfall ingot.
Mm-hmm.
Does it have a name other than Starfall ingot? Like, is it now processed something else?
It
or
is
no?
Starfall ingot at this point.
Okay.
You can choose to process it into other things with a different action, such as, like, attempting to create 3, like, sets of, like, studs from an ingot, or processing it into, like, a sheet, or processing, like, 5 of them into a complete set of, like, full armor, of, like, chest and legs and all that, or, like, maybe 2 of them for, like, a circlet, or, like, 3 of them for a full helmet, stuff like that.
Okay.
How many
That's
ingots
all.
is the party up to?
Only 2, I think.
Oh, right, because the other one you didn't forge, you didn't keep because it got, right.
We did as like a show of the fact, hey, this works.
Right. Please continue selling.
Alright, Ara, you now have my bonus, my +5.
Oh, I'm excited. Aha! Very nice.
Aw.
I think y'all should pass up on that.
That's true, we should pass up on that. Reduce
Who
that
out
down
here passing up on that?
15... Wait, no.
That would be
45
20.
minus 25 is 20. I don't know why I said 15.
How much gold is that?
That is 3 gold, 6 silver.
The party is
2
a
copper.
third of the way to level 7. Also, I want you to know that even though it doesn't have a gold value listed, Glean's quests do have gold values associated with them for, like, bringing back a certain value of materials.
I see, for experience. Got it.
Yes, for experience purposes, it counts as reclaiming material. It is not just the information.
Right.
Very nice.
Alright, then one more.
Okay.
Is this because you are running out, or is this because it's the 19th?
I
Yes.
think we only had enough to do 3 rolls.
Okay. Then on the 19th you do this, and then you have 1 day remaining.
I don't think we take it.
I mean, we can always just stay.
We were gonna stay anyway, so
He was
Yeah.
planning on staying at least like 2 bastion turns, not 3.
Oh, perfect.
Then on the 20th.
Do we do another? Are we trying to sell again then?
can we attempt to sell again?
Yeah.
Do we? I mean,
Wait,
yeah, we didn't
no,
have that one.
That's 4 or 3. And this was medium, right?
Yeah.
I think it's 3 medium right now. Is the demand here? Does the party have
So
any other
then-
actions before this bastion turn is finished?
I mean, not mechanically, but I am bugging the people that said they knew how to cast the spell that I want to cast. It's like, and how does this work again? And what do you use this for?
And they are exceptionally patient explaining to you.
How very kind.
One of the things you end up picking up that you're probably not a fan of at the start is they tend to drink this weird like vegetable mush as like a drink that they do pretty much every single morning. It's rather bitter and sharp, but it ends up growing on you a little bit after you try it once.
Like algae or something. What is that?
Not like it's addictive, but just that like the first time you had it, it seemed pretty bad, but they somehow managed to pressure you into taking a sip a second time, and it's surprisingly tolerable.
Yeah, I
Makes you
mean,
feel much more alert than alcohol would, while still giving you all of the self-loathing.
Bam.
yeah, no, that's very reasonable. They're being very kind to me. I'm fine entertaining their weird juice. And it's fine. It actually isn't that bad.
Tefred, Rat, Hereway, any remaining actions for the day?
I do not believe so.
Alright. Then everybody sans friend, who is currently out performing very important business,
I'm so glad friend is
returns
on
to
business.
find Rat as he is finishing out the last bits of the ingots.
Actually, myself and Tefra do have something to ask Rat, though.
Sounds like a good thing to do either while he's working or as soon as he finishes up.
Probably not while he's working.
Yeah.
Tefred would make that clear.
Wise.
Lessons have been learned.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Making
Right,
one more
I had-
spell? Or no, sorry.
No. Me and Tefred are practicing the art of the deal.
Oh, fuck, not right now.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry.
You're good, you're good. Oh, you're
Uh,
good.
Rat, with regards to the Starfall, I thought to ask. We still don't know much of the practical use of the material, so I thought it might be useful to propose a smaller scale project that won't expend much of the material, so that we can actually see the properties in the field. More specifically, a suit of studded leather armor
Mm-hmm.
with the studs being made from the Starfall to serve as armor for Tefrid. What do you think?
Kind of crinkles his snout a little bit.
Work could.
And if it turns out that's not well suited for armor, we didn't waste much material because it was only studded leather.
Absolutely. It feels like the perfect balance of both, honestly.
What leather won't use? Dog
That's
blink.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Blinking and twinkling like the stars.
He kind of just tilts his head. He definitely did not understand what you said.
Understood. You know what? I'll show you when it's done. What I mean? Maybe I should. I'd
Bright
also
Star
like to.
Brigandine, perhaps.
Mhm.
Just for a name, potentially.
Oh, potentially, absolutely. Also, Rat, I kind of wanted to follow up on something earlier. When we had first met, you had seemed opposed to me learning Draconic. Is that still the case? Because I feel like I'd like to try to communicate with you on your playing field.
He just kind of looks a little bit blankly, but there's cogs turning. He grumbles a little bit.
Like.
Okay. I'll get started right away. If you want to help out at all, I'd love to help as well. Both of you.
He immediately turns around and goes to start working on
all right,
things.
here away.
I'm not the most fluent. I mostly learned the language for basic trading purposes and for my spell casting, but I'll help where I can.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good to me.
And besides, it's only right considering that you're helping me with my blade work.
Oh yeah, of course. Maybe we could even combine those two activities. That's not a good idea.
Definitely not.
No, not a good idea. You know, sometimes you say something and it just, just doesn't work out.
Indeed.
Thank you, Rat.
He just grumbles as he's preparing his station. So, for crafting studded leather armor, would I need to craft rivets with the ingots and then the studded leather armor, since these are two
You
different
would
tool
not
sets?
need rivets, you would need studs.
Studs, okay.
Because the if you were doing regular studs, it wouldn't be an issue, but you need to spend like one action making like 3 studs from one
thought so.
ingot, and then another one making the leather while you have the studs as an additional ingredient. Or
Mhm.
not making the leather.
The
Although
armor,
somebody does need to make the leather.
Well,
I was
Rat
gonna
is
ask, who among the party has leatherworkers tools proficiency?
Rat does.
Rat
Okay.
does. Which is good. That probably substitutes a little bit of heart. I don't suppose Friend does, but Friend isn't here either way. Leather is specifically governed by heart because heart is that of like skin and rhythm and blood, and skin is,
That makes
you
sense.
know, leather.
Yeah.
It's the drum beat.
I was gonna say, if the leather needs to be treated at all, I might be able to help with alchemist supplies.
I can see it. That's probably something for next session. Because
Yeah.
Rat will be able to take his 2 actions pretty much immediately, and other people should probably take the crafting action as well to help speed things up.
Yeah, I fully intend to take the crafting action next time.
Seeing as this is rather pliable leather, it's probably not going to be particularly difficult, probably only like 4 heart. So depending on the specific weather you get, most of you could probably do it, especially if you were willing to sacrifice something.
To the gods. We take this potion and smash it on the ground.
I mean, yeah, realistically, in the previous case, it's like you're using a bit of one of the potions to like either add a bit of extra heat to the flame or like literally just combining with it to help separate like different things as a catalyst, right? There's a lot of ways you can flavor that.
Rat swallows the bottle, not drinking the potion, but swallows the bottle, and
Hmm.
his body
Hey.
emanates the required aspect.
Yes, Rat. Well, considering one of the aspects is edge, he certainly has a lot more edge in him now.
Through that. Can you get a different aspect by like having like an empty bottle, like a magical empty bottle, breaking it, and then using like making that edge? Or like,
I mean, realistically, just having a broken bottle is probably one edge for sacrifice.
I see.
Like, it does
Roller
not take
base.
much. Like, for example, if you didn't want to use the,
The potion.
yeah, you could probably go out and, like, buy a piece of coal, for example, because coal probably has, like, one forge and one scale. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I correct in assuming that the red potion is damn near an alkahest type thing?
I don't know what that means. I'm too
It is
stupid.
a moving red potion that makes me scared to open it because of last campaign.
I
Yeah,
can
fair.
say that it is not related to last campaign.
I know it's
I mean-
not. You wouldn't throw in that relevant of a thing that early.
As a
Right.
random loot drop. Unless he would.
Unless I
The
would.
only like relevant things I would think are random loot drops. Like I mean like supremely plot relevant would be the legendary items.
Yeah. I would
which-
imagine some of the rare items would as well, but
Potentially.
Which we got 2 of them. Both related to Mirandor.
nope.
Well, no,
you got one of them.
The helmet is legendary.
Oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
I was saying 2 of the random items.
Yes.
But yeah, I
like
take
there
your meaning.
could be other high peak great staffs, but there's only one Earth Veil. Right.
Right, yeah.
hmm Importantly, the reason I was so like somebody should wear the Earth Veil. Somebody should wear the Earth Veil is because the more we use the Earth Veil, the more it upgrades.
The more
And
you
the
figure
more
out
visions
how
we get
to
from it.
repair it. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The visions seem particularly important to get, because the more people we have with fucking weird dreams, the more plot we get.
Weird dreams? The
True.
fuck are you doing, Darius?
Darius gets to
Jesus.
continue fucking over BBQ's character with all of these dreams he's getting.
Honestly, kind of. Why the hell is Darius Cooking giving him this dream of the fucking
Da moon.
Whatever. the moon, the people, the dragging the body?
It's fucking weird.
Does the party
So
have any
we-
remaining actions before we move to the 21st and probably end the session unless you want to take a Bastion turn performing simple actions such as crafting and selling and trading and buying, those sorts of things? Actually, we should definitely do it next session because Friend will be
Yeah.
returning on like the 23rd.
Indeed.
Makes sense.
Oh damn, that's a massive summit.
I mean, it's like 6 days, 5 days. With like a day and a half travel
Yeah.
time, that's like 2 days there. Right.
Yeah, fair.
It's not bad.
Still a pretty big deal compared to the other stuff.
Indeed.
Indeed.
And with
King
that,
Dedede.
with that King Kirby D going about, the party has made quite a bit of progress, and while they're chilling out in the city, getting ready for the 21st to roll around, most of them are getting good rest, while Friend is up to some mysterious activities off to the side. I look forward to seeing you, probably not next week, probably 2 weeks from now. Except for Golden, who I might see next week at about this time.
Mm-hmm.
Or if anybody else wants a mini session, that is. But I can't imagine what for. Smile, Mr. Rat, Mr. Hero. But, for now, we shall depart. Thank you all for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.